On today's panel section, we'll be discussing all of this. And with me, I have amazing guests. Starting from my right hand, Success. Thank you for coming
Thank you
today.
so much for having me, Lola.
It's so good having Dara again because on our first part of relationship, Dara was an amazing person. She dished out every of the points, and at the time, I was like, Dara is a relationship practitioner, not even a lawyer anymore. But it's great having you. So today we're talking about another side of relationship, basically. And I would like us to start with what does positive relationship means, or what does it look like to us?
Well, because okay, first I'm analyzing things. When I think of a positive relationship or um, what a positive relationship looks like, I really do not have one thing in mind. Because to say this is what a positive relationship looks like, it means you're like generalizing and taking everybody's taste style into consideration, which is not really possible. But then there's some key things that as long as you're in a relationship, you should have.
Okay.
For example, honesty and always be with honesty. Like honesty. I don't think it would be a good thing to have someone join a relationship with light to you consistently. So I would say, regardless of taste, background, and all of that, honesty would definitely be a positive side of the relationship.
Yes. So for you, you think or you assume part of the positive things in a relationship or as a necessity to show or to prove that yes, this relationship is positive, then honesty is one of it.
Yes, definitely. Right.
Amazing. So I don't want us to limit this conversation to just a relationship between a positive, the other positive sex. I want us to talk about to have a diverse concept about this relationship. I mean, relationship with our parents, relationship with a colleague, relationship with our friend, relationship with our opposite sex, obviously. So now let's talk about parents. What kind of relationship do you think the youth nowadays have with their parents?
All right, so young persons, the relationship that young people have with their parents, it's meant to be cordial. It's meant to be one that strengthens one another. What I mean is, naturally, you know, when you have when you have parents, they are meant to guide you. They're meant to love you. All of these things creates a bond, a relationship. So normally, or what should that kind of relationship should actually help the youngster, the young person, you know, to develop better, because you find out like human beings or persons that are from dysfunctional homes whereby there's something lacking in that relationship, they become some kind of terror to the society. And so normally or on normal circumstances, um, relationship should help young persons, you know, and that should be what we should be seeing currently in our society. But sometimes it's not that way. But however, that is on, yeah, as scientists say, provided all conditions are constant.
Okay.
All right, so that's that.
Well, for me, I don't think I have an expectation. Yeah, I like to make it so clear. I don't think I have an expectation. Nobody does actually. I mean, they just literally your parents are forced on you. You don't come to Perth and then you're like, oh, these are my parents. I mean, if we had a choice, many of us would pick different people. So I just
Okay,
think,
definitely.
yeah, definitely. So I
I
think
get.
your relationship with your parents is not a given. How do I mean? It's not necessary that you have to have a cordial relationship with them. Even though it's assumed that your parents are going to love you and they're going to provide for you and direct you on how you should go, it's not necessary that it will play out that way. Some people have their parents as their best friends, and especially some females, they have their mom as like their bestie, and
Yeah.
I don't think it happens. I don't think it's something that just jumps on you and then you have to work for it. For me, I decided myself that if my relationship with my father is just because it's providing for me, sending me to school, what happens when he no longer has to do those things? Does that mean I stop relating with him? So I made it a conscious effort to like build a relationship with my dad and my mom too. Of course, personality differences too would come into play, but I decided that for my parents, consciously start a conversation. Hey, Dad, what do you think about this? Because most African parents, we know now, they won't just call you and say, "Come, let me tell you." Of course,
Yes.
except you build, this kind of conversation. For me, if my dad is going out and during his breakfast, that's the moment we try to catch up on all the family gist. So my dad would just gossip about so many things and we'll laugh about, okay, I think I remember that this will get out to other family members, so I'll do some gist. But this is how I think relationship is formed. You don't just, set an expectation of rule, like parents should enforce obedience. They should also be that hard for getting to know them personally as people and not just as, guidance or protector or provider. That's what
And I think the parents themselves should create this space. They should give us the space to build that relationship with them, because sometimes you can't even confide in your parents anymore.
No, you don't.
You find it difficult to like, can I share this with my
Oh
dad?
my God,
What will he say? How will he react? What's his response?
Let's be realistic, okay? There's some things in this life, and yeah, I will never tell my father or my mother. It's just
I differ.
You differ, really.
Yeah, my
You can tell your mom
my mom is my
anything.
bestie. Anything.
Anything,
Like, I mean anything.
anything.
It's she knows.
Like,
Anything. Yeah, like anything. If that's to do it again, like mom will tell you how far. Stuff like that. She even goes as far as telling me about sexual protection.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well,
that's
well,
true.
but,
If I'm allowed to call that coming
but seriously, it's not that you can't tell them vital things.
Yeah.
But like every minor, there's a way you will with your friend that you can just share like minor details.
Yeah,
There's some
sure.
friends that know like everything about you.
Yes.
Only things, and then when you're on speakerphone, you really want to quickly remove them if your friends are around. But I mean things like, for example, you go to the markets and then you get something very expensive. Do you go back and tell your mom the actual price, or you say stuff like, no, it was 1K?
Yes.
Because in Africa, they're going to stone you, right? It's
Yes.
like the next day pass.
I can. I think it's that kind of relationship. We've created that bond. Like, for instance, when I was a child, when I was kind of little, if you report me to my mom, no matter what you tell her, she will first ask me what happened before she even agrees or deals the punishment. Because we've had this transparency. I mean, even if I bought something very expensive, it was a shirt I bought very expensive. When I told her, the only thing she told me was, "You have money, I'm not giving you money." Oh." That was those are the highest things. But I know how to work those things, right? So, I had to use phrases like, "Is anything too good enough for me?"
Exactly, there's some sort of money.
I deserve the
Success is
best.
actually a mommy's boy. So
Yes,
let's just
lifestyle,
leave him.
so
Let's leave him to that
okay.
part. So to the parent side now. So many of us learn how to love from our parents. Now imagine if this parents truly don't know how to love each other. Now we've seen a lot of children that goes up with a single mom, a single dad, and in that situation, what lesson do you want them to learn? How do you want them to understand what love truly means? And because I tell you, the first place I practically learned a lot of those morals and attributes are for my family. So I see what my hands does, I see what my dad do, and I just want to learn from them. And I don't want to even repeat certain mistakes that they've made before. But that decision was for me. I made that particular decision for myself. But some people, it's not just easy for them to make that particular situation. For somebody who goes up in a family where there is bully, there's maltreatment, there is beating, and all of those things, and what kind of thing has it built on that child?
In my house, one of the things my dad taught me um, is how to speak up. And I'll always be grateful for it because, if someone meets me today and say you are sassy, you're opinionated, I don't care. I wear it with pride because my dad taught me to source, okay. And it was a thing. It's still a thing. And when it comes to that, aspect of knowing how to speak up, it translates to how I relate with people. So I'm not one to have something wrong and then just keep quiet because I have the kind of environment where speaking up is necessary. In fact, when we were younger, my dad wants to scold you if you've done something. I don't know whether it's because of his background as a lawyer. It gives you opportunity to defend yourself. I find it very creepy as a child. Like, why is this man wicked? Because we know it's going to beat us on our as well. But it's still going to just tell you, okay, tell me why you did this, what you have to say for yourself. But if you actually give a very reasonable answer, you could go scot-free possibly. So I really want to address the part where you said, you're from a dysfunctional home or you're from a single parent. I really don't think there's anything bad with having a single parent because we have to realize that we can't as a society be the same. We can't as a society have the same kinds of people who have the same experiences. And as much as some things are frowned out in the society as like vices, some of them are unavoidable. Because some single parents is not as a result of maybe a divorce or something, or being a baby mom or whatever. Some people they lost a parents, and they have to be single parents by reason of that fact. So most times I think that there's sort of this stigmatization that happens. I really don't think that should be it. Of course, we know by statistics, by science, and all of that some of these things have their effects. But I think as adults or individuals generally, we have to relearn certain things. I don't know if you get what I mean. Your parents teach you so many things, but there's a time when you have to learn things. So yeah, nobody gets it right. Like you'll see some things in your parents' relationship success, don't you have some things you're like, oh no, I'm not doing this when I'm in a relationship or when I get married. Do you have stuff like that? Or
Sure, yeah.
yeah, so I think that's really how it works. So I don't think there's this we should just place that education on our parents, this is where we learn from. And yes, my parents affected me. That's why I can't love. Because so many people do that thing where like what I'm not seeing differently.
Yeah.
You have a responsibility to act differently if you know better.
Exactly.
So that's what I just think really. I don't know if it's exhausted.
So since you want to say something.
Well, so regarding single parents and relationships, mostly with their kids, their children. Well, I'm a result of, or I'm still in a single. My mom's actually a single parent, so and I've been that way. I've been in that for years, probably since I'm 3 or so, if I can remember correctly. And I mean, my mom taught me some funny things that normally should be my dad. Like for instance, how to kill chicken. These are basic things that probably your dad should have taught you how to, personal hygiene for men. These were the things my mom taught me. So I think it has more to do with the parent and leads to with the child. But anyway, as you grow up, as you get older, you have to make as a responsible person, or probably an adult, or even a teenager, you can actually make some kind of choices if you feel your mom or your dad or your single parent actually doing things that you feel you could do better. You just want to be a part of that kind of attitude, or these are kind of things you see in such a relationship. You want to just be different. It's possible, but it has more to do with the parent first and foremost, and there should be an understanding. There should be this. When I call my mom, when I tell her, I say things like, Alpha babe, sorry to say, but I just say that because she has no one. She has more, like, I won't say she has no one, she has God, but she has me. So you understand. So she even says, she made comment like, my young boy. So we have this cordial relationship. At the same time, I still have this very strong respect and honor for her, regardless. But we're still parties, we're still guys. So it has a lot to do with the parent first. My mom was always free with us. Had this principle, you can escape punishment. Sorry, but you can actually escape punishment if you tell the truth. It's that way in my house. If you that's why if something is missing and she asks me, okay, in fact before she even asked me, I say, I took the thing. I needed it sharply, in fact. So sometimes it's you have to build that. You know, it's something that doesn't just start. That just doesn't start all of a sudden. It's something that has to be something conscious. A conscious practice at home. Honesty, transparency. You know, there should be some set of values. You know, every family has their own values. My mind is more of do your thing, be responsible, change your world. Right. So um that's my take for that. I don't
Thank
want
you
to
so
continue.
much for
I have a
that.
lot to say,
That
but
was really enlightening. And I think there are a lot of amazing single moms and single dad that are
Yeah.
doing the perfect work on their kids. And when you see their kids, you're like, oh, they turn out well, even without having the full family together. So back to our positive. Yeah, we're still on our positive relationship. Jealousy and overprotectiveness. Do you think they are good signs of a positive that stop saying at me like that? Do you think they are good signs of a positive relationship or they are a deal breaker or can you even make it work?
can I just say something quickly?
Yes, yes.
Now, when you talk about jealousy and of protectiveness, first and foremost, if you really love someone, honestly speaking, when you really love, not like when you love, there should be some atom of jealousy. Now, but what happens is when it becomes kind of obsessive
Obsession.
and it becomes too then when you have so much jealousy, it actually leads to overprotectiveness. Now, definitely, you want to protect the one you love. You
Yeah.
want to guide the one you love. But there's some guiding that can guide you out of the relationship, lead you out. So I feel it has to do more of the intensity of that jealousy. Normally, even God said, "As a jealous God." Why does this? Why is he a jealous God? He loves us so much. Anyway, so but it's normal for you to be jealous. Some amount of jealousy. In fact, it makes your relationship a bit safe. It could actually be some kind of level of safety in the relationship. What? Okay. Why am I saying so? For instance, now there's some kind of activities you know normally would be some form of harm or some kind of you're not really too sure about this kind of friends. That jealous country just move you like Alpha, don't really go out for this kind of outing, don't associate this kind of people. And you might not say it's impossibly like don't do like this, but you could actually chip in the conversation. So for me, just it could be some kind of advantage in the relationship.
So if you have a jealous partner and overprotective in quotes partner, you're fine with it.
Okay, overprotective. Okay, first and foremost, let me give an example of what would actually be very freakingly annoying. For instance, maybe probably I'm sleeping. Now, like using my thumb to check my phone, people access my phone, or something like, Alpha. Maybe probably I have a friend and she's a female, like, Alpha, where do you know her from? You probably should ask questions, but the second way you ask the question, like, it becomes an interrogation. For me, that's a turn off. That's weird. That's some kind of red flag. And there are other things. I'm just giving you instances. I'm not just saying, but just be jealous. But you might be
Turn it down.
jealous. You might be jealous.
I don't know. For me, the question is, are you a jealous person normally? You know, like there's some kind of people who they don't know how to feel competition in a healthy way. They want to win, and if they can't win, they want to remove you. However that works, you're fine with it. There's that kind of thing on a normal level. Like you're not dating anybody. No, you're not entangled emotionally or anything. You're just yourself. And then there's some things that you can't stand for. That's one way to know whether, as a person, then you don't care. That's the question. Then, if you're not in a relationship, how do you translate this feeling of competitiveness or competition and insecurity? Because I think that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Nobody just randomly, if so, for example, let me just put it in this very plain manner. If as a girl you think, I'm finer than this babe, in your mind you're very secure about that, right? This girl, she has nothing on me. And then you see your partner with the person. If something goes wrong, you'll be like, something's wrong with both of them, like, because look at me. Do you get what I mean? But then if for example you think it doesn't always play out this way though, but I'm just citing an example. Or if for example you think, oh my god, this girl is better than me, she's more exposed, like, or she's something that you're not, in a way that you're insecure about it. If your partner is with that person, there's this level of apprehension you get when you're
Yeah.
like when you're trying to guide, like you said, and then you're trying to like be, protective. So now, of course, there's psychotic protection where it's now excess. Yeah, like a Yoruba movie I saw one time where the guy was going to like, touch the car to figure out what it was, where have you been? Okay, there's some of that level that is like psychotic, but like I said, I think there's a modicum of jealousy around. Some people think jealousy is a totally negative emotion, that's a no, but I don't think so. I think, yeah, there should be some sort of healthy jealousy that, just makes you say, hey, yeah, we don't do this. Or, but not to the extent that the person feels suffocated,
Yeah.
and doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. So,
I think that's why trust is necessary in every relationship, like
yeah,
communication and trust.
yeah,
You know the kind of partner you have,
More of
and
understanding, yeah.
yeah, so
yeah, I guess, yeah.
Oh, wait, you expecting me to persuade you into renting this apartment? Oh no, I don't need to. Crest Shortlet and Apartment speaks for itself. Give us a call today.
Okay, so I don't think you can control it. Like, some people are like, when it comes to love, you don't control when it happens, how it happens, who it happens with. It just happens. So I feel like if you're in a situation where it's sort of forbidden, although that sometimes has a true,
yeah,
people will not catch you say like, oh, this is so exciting. But in case you don't mind being jealous, you can continue. But if you're like, this is going to affect me and affect my life, I think you should be really sure of what exactly it is you're doing before you engage in this kind of risky love. But if not, I don't think it. I think it's fine. But dating your boss, that's next level. I don't know. I don't know about that.
So it actually depends. Dating a colleague.
can you date a colleague?
Can I date a colleague? Okay, what am I doing now? I'm a student. I'm in engineering department, engineering faculty, mechanical engineering department, local house. 120, we have about 4 girls.
Whoa.
Four girls about are more like men. So dating a colleague is quite a challenge for me personally, since the whole circumstance is not let me see, not favorable. but dating a colleague, I'm open minded really. Things can happen. I can see my wife, my official wife. But it's actually for me, it's kind of an awkward situation because I know friends, I have friends that are dating colleagues and courses, so to say. And when you're in class, as the lecturer is teaching chemistry, it's actually seeing chemistry happening again in this class. So things are happening. So for me, I wouldn't to an extent, but I'm still open-minded. at this stage, personally, I wouldn't. If it happens, it'll be fine. Then, if there's some kind of chemistry we can actually build on, probably yeah.
Do you think it's proper for leaders to ask a guy out? Do you think this means anything?
Man, if you ask me out, and you're pretty, and you have good qualities, I'm what I'm going for. Oh, I'll say yes. So I don't think it's like, okay. In fact, my first relationship, it was actually that way. It was a lady, and she didn't do it like she didn't want to. But when a friend of mine came to meet me, I was like, he asked this guy out. The guy was saying she's not really interested in the guy. That it was another guy. Then I was not wondering, I wish I had that. The guy now said hi. Then I didn't know the girl. So, but I said I was not interested. And I said, you'll be interested in this one. And I saw the game. It's fine. So, in my own point of view, and based on experience, there's no problem. If you like a guy, look up to him and tell you a lot of things. I think it's the lyrics to the song. So I think it's cool. It's not bad. It doesn't devalue you. It's only if the person, the guy is the wrong person. That's when he looks at you and he feels he can take advantage of you. But it's not. It's cool. In fact, it's cool. Because many times you don't even see the things that someone else is seeing.
Well, yeah, I just in this kind of thing, I feel pretty. Yeah. As much as I'm all for, take the bull by the horn and all of that, and, shoot your shots and everything, I'm still more like, play safe.
This is like, I don't know.
Like, play safe as far, most times they say men like the aunts, yeah? And that's what they say.
You can't even give signals.
No, you definitely will show. There's some pointers. Some people are not so great at accepting rejection. I mean, okay, let me take it this way. If you're not great with rejection, then you should not, do it. But if you're great with rejection, then you should. Because some people really cry and say no like this. That's it. So you have to do it.
I think it's part of the process. And secondly, if you really like the guy and because you're seeing him with someone else and he doesn't have an idea, I'm probably in my life should, but there's some of relationship whereby you don't want to just ruin the relationship. You want to tell this person you really like the person. Probably you guys have this cordial friend relationship. So you don't want to make it awkward or something. You can give the person signals.
I'm not against signals, yeah.
I feel it's cool.
I'm not saying you should not give signals. I'm just saying please see. Don't take it with the drill. Because some people take advantage of it. That's what I'm just saying.
So trust me, I enjoyed every bit of this section. You guys were amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That was very insightful, and Success was experimental. Was so practical, and I feel like he has more experience than me. It was really amazing. So this is getting to the end of the show, but it's always interesting to brighten up the mood. So we have a short game. So it's just 1 to 5. You're just supposed to pick any number, then I tell you, then you just answer it. Who's going first?
3.
Wow.
Going
Maybe-
first.
100.
So maybe what kind of things really makes you laugh?
Cartoons.
So you still watch cartoons?
Yes, please. I pray it never ends. I'm 40, I should watch cartoons. 50. Yeah, cartoons. And looking at really, you see I'm excited already. Looking at really beautiful pictures and looking at very animated things, I just call my life. So yeah, that makes me laugh.
So it probably looks like you like art.
Yeah, I do. An art aficionado. I
From
love
your
art.
dress, you
Yeah,
speak a lot.
Yeah,
You look gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you.
So Success, what's your number?
It's 100.
I
Out
have
of 1 to 5.
I have 1 to 5.
Okay, 1 to 5.
Yes.
5, 1 to 5.
Okay, so
Very simple.
wow. So what is the worst lie you've ever told your mom? Because you said you
Worst lie?
Yes, never, yes, true.
What's lie? About to my mom.
You're about to cast now,
Okay.
So maybe my
I'm sure he's going to watch
I'm
this.
thinking
He's going to
about it
watch
because
this.
It's difficult though. But I'm still thinking, what's the worst lie? What have I told her? That's so bad. So bad. Okay. It's hard though.
So you've never told her any lie before?
You can't come and cast
Okay,
me
it's
for
not.
being
I can't come and cast my mom because probably if I haven't told a lie, afterwards I've told the truth. So
Okay. Well, which one did you start with at least?
what I could have told. It's hard. I'm trying to remember because whatever I was saying now is probably something very minor. But I'm trying to look for something that I actually said that was really deep. Was deeply a lie. And it's man. What do I say? More it's hard. Okay. I watched it. I've not watched. Okay. Let me see. I told her I've done the dishes. I've not done the dishes. I told you it's not really because that's how open I am with my mom. So it's kind of difficult.
But that's really good and impressive.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so Tara, another number.
1.
Okay. Wow, I love this. So you only get 3 words. 3 words to describe yourself. What are they? If you want me to give you one, I can give you one.
Aesthetics. Philosophy. I'm picking random words because okay, you didn't have to all of that. Let me forget. And what? Insightful.
Yes, you are insightful.
Yeah.
Throughout the section. Success. Your last number.
1.
So just pick one.
Oh, sorry. 2.
Okay, so wow. What's something everyone else love that you secretly find overrated? How come?
Well, if I say this, you guys can actually call me a football fanatic. I feel Messi is overrated. Sorry to say, but that's the truth. So I told you.
Yeah, we should come for you.
I am.
Just check our comment box and get it.
Yeah.
But thank
Messi-
you so much.
Messi is not okay.
This section was amazing.
Thank you for
And
having
thank you for always coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.